The rules of digital discovery have changed, and most marketing teams haven't caught up. We've spent the better part of 2 decades optimizing for Google. We built blogs, we earned backlinks, we fine-tuned meta descriptions, and we crossed our fingers for a coveted first-page ranking and appearance in a featured snippet. But in the AI-powered attention economy, that game, sadly, is over. Today, discovery doesn't start with a search box. It starts with a question. And that question is not asked of Google, but to ChatGPT, Claude, Copilot, or Perplexity, or many of the others. Go ahead and try it. Ask any of them about solutions in your industry. Is your brand in the answer? These tools don't scan the web in real time. They synthesize answers from pre-trained data, trusted citations, and recognizable patterns of authority. They don't pull from your perfectly optimized landing page unless it's been consistently cited, contextually reinforced, and aligned with what they already know to be true. In short, if your content isn't cohesive, reinforced across channels, and validated by third-party experts, credibility, authority, you are, for all intents and purposes, invisible. This, my friends, is the discovery crisis, and it's not just an SEO problem, it's a strategic risk. Disconnected content means conflicting brand signals. Inconsistent messaging means AI skips over you. A lack of earned visibility means you don't get cited, which means you don't get surfaced. You don't even get seen. Your audience doesn't find you because AI didn't either. The good news? There is good news in all of this. The PESO model offers a structured way out. I know you're surprised. By integrating paid, earned, shared, and owned media under one strategy, PESO creates the signal clarity AI models need to recognize your brand as credible. It reinforces messaging across channels, prioritizes authoritative mentions, and ensures that the content you create doesn't just exist, it gets found. On this week's SpinSucks podcast episode, we'll unpack the mechanics of AI discovery, the hidden risks of fragmented content, and how a PESO-aligned approach protects your visibility in a zero-click, zero-share world. AI is now the front door to every brand. Without PESO, your front door stays locked.
If you're a communications pro who works hard, doesn't compromise quality, and gets the job done, welcome home. We'll share our tips, tricks, and stories, and together we will change the face of PR. Spin sucks, but we don't. With the Spin Sucks podcast, here's Gini Dietrich.
Welcome back to the SpinSucks podcast. I'm Gini Dietrich. For the last 20 years, marketers have optimized everything for one powerful, elusive, ever-changing algorithm called Google, or the Google, as I like to call it. We've written blog posts like we're in a keyword arms race. We've begged for backlinks. We've stuffed metadata, schema markup, and alt text into every available inch of content real estate. And for a while, it worked. If someone typed a question into a search bar and you'd done your SEO job, there was a good chance your brand would show up on the first page. Maybe even be included in a featured snippet if the stars aligned. But search isn't where discovery starts anymore. It starts with a question. Just not the kind typed into Google. Instead, it's spoken or written to ChatGPT or Claude or Perplexity or Copilot or whichever AI-powered assistant someone trusts to deliver a fast, confident, and complete answer. And those tools, they don't work like search engines, not even close. Traditional search gave buyers a long list of open doors to choose from. Page after page of results, neatly ranked and labeled. It was a buffet of options you could explore, compare, dig deeper, click around. AI does not work that way. AI tools open one, maybe two doors. They synthesize a curated, confident answer and hand it to the user like a concierge handing over a key. And unless your brand is clearly marked, consistently reinforced, and backed by signals of authority, you're not behind that door. You're not even in the hallway. This is the new discovery paradigm. AI is the front door to every brand. And if your content is fragmented or inconsistent, your front door stays locked. It doesn't matter how great your content is if it's not connected, consistent, and reinforced. AI models don't just crawl, they conclude. They look for patterns. They trust consistency. They elevate what they've seen quoted, cited, and repeated with clarity and authority. So if your PR team says one thing, your blog says another, your podcast is off topic, and your social captains are a vibe but not a message, whew, AI can't figure out what you're about, so it skips you. Heck, you can't figure out what you're about. Welcome to the new attention economy, one where visibility is less about optimization and more about signal strength. Even worse, you don't always get the chance to earn the click anymore. In this zero click, zero share environment, people aren't even visiting your website. They're asking AI for the too long didn't read version and trusting it to get things right. The burden of discovery has shifted from the searcher to the system. If your brand can't be confidently cited, it's quietly forgotten. Try it yourself. Ask ChatGPT or your AI tool of choice about the best solution in your industry. For instance, what is the best solution for marketing automation? You have some work to do if you do marketing automation and you're not HubSpot, Marketo, or ActiveCampaign. For your own brand, notice which brands appear and which don't. Those missing brands, they might have great product, they may have great SEO, and they probably have industry awards. But without integrated signals, they're invisible to the new gatekeepers of discovery. And just in case you think this shift is years away, nope, it's here. It's already here. Think about your own habits and how you're getting information now. According to Forrester, nearly 3/4 of B2B buyers are already using AI tools to help them research vendors and make decisions. 3/4. The other day, a client forwarded me a note from a new customer that said they found them first on ChatGPT and added them to a list of potential vendors from there. They did their research from there, of course, but had they not been in the AI answer, they wouldn't have been on the consideration list at all. It also says we're doing our job, which, yay. The future of AI is now. By the end of this year, AI assisted research will likely outpace Google for high consideration purchases. That's not even a single planning cycle from now. What that means is if your content is fragmented today, your visibility, if it hasn't already, will shrink tomorrow. And the longer you wait to fix it, the harder it will be to catch up. AI models are currently being retrained, but they don't forget what they've already learned. Brands that get excited today are building durable digital authority for tomorrow. Brands that don't, they risk being permanently overlooked. So, yes, this is about SEO, and it's about something bigger too. This is about how AI is changing the way people find, trust, and engage with information. Whether your brand shows up or doesn't depends on how clearly you signal who you are, what you do, and why you matter across every media channel. The future of visibility isn't optimized, it's integrated. Here's the thing no one wants to say out loud. So forgive me. Most marketing and communications teams are still structured like it's 2012. Actually, I said 1999 to my leadership team the other day, but I guess giving them an extra 13 years is probably more accurate. Most are still structured like it's 2012. Regardless of the year, PR is doing one thing, the content teams is heads down writing blog posts, social media is chasing trends and dopamine, and paid media, that team runs its own playbook entirely, usually with its own KPIs, agency, and its own, don't worry, we've got this energy because they have the best results. Or that's not true. They have the most measurable and accessible results. All of this made a certain kind of sense when the buyer journey was linear and the discovery landscape was mostly shaped by Google and word of mouth. But in today's AI-powered world, that fragmentation isn't just inefficient, it's dangerous. Let's start with the obvious. AI does not do nuance well. If your context sends mixed messages about who you serve, what you do, or how you differentiate, AI tools can't confidently include you in an answer. They don't think in terms of maybe. They look for reinforcement, patterns, consensus, a cohesive, repeated signal across multiple data points. So if your blog says one thing, your media coverage another, and your CEO is posting hot takes on LinkedIn that make your brand team sweat, guess what happens? Confusion, contradiction, and ultimately omission. Disconnected content doesn't just fail to perform, it disqualifies you from even being considered. That's the brand risk of fragmentation. But the problem goes deeper. Let's talk about earned media, or rather, the lack thereof. If your brand isn't being quoted, mentioned, or referenced by third parties, and not just legacy media, but newsletters, review sites, social media influencers, and more, it's not showing up in the data sets that train the AI models. It's not in the citations that tools like Perplexity or ChatGPT look for when they're resurfacing credible sources. And no, Your blog does not count unless it's already well known and externally linked. Self-publishing into a void does not earn trust. It just adds to the noise. Owned media alone cannot save you, not if it's buried, inconsistent, or lacking reinforcement from other channels. And don't even get me started on the brands that built their entire strategy on unsearchable platforms. That gorgeous carousel on Instagram, that perfect hook you threaded on Twitter, X, those don't help AI understand who you are. They're platform dependent moments, not enduring proof of authority. Here's a test. Can you find your best social content from 6 months ago? Probably not. And guess what? Neither can AI. In this new ecosystem, the riskiest thing you can do is operate in silos. Every disconnected channel weakens the collective signal, every off brand message dilutes trust, and every lost opportunity to repurpose or amplify content means one less breadcrumb in the path to discoverability. So, no. The problem is not that your marketing isn't creative. The problem is that it's inconsistent. And in a world where buyers ask machines for answers, inconsistency equals invisibility. If AI tools now hold the keys to discovery, then most marketing strategies are standing at the door, jingling the wrong set of keys. But this is where the PESO model earns its keep. Because the issue isn't that you're not creating great content. It's that the content you're creating doesn't add up to a discoverable brand. It's scattered, unaligned, optimized in pieces, but not integrated as a whole. PESO solves that, not with more content, but with better coordination. Let me back up for a second. PESO stands for, in case you don't know, paid, earned, shared, and owned media. It's not a buffet system. You can't just choose tactics from each media type and call it a day. Au contraire, my friends. It's a strategic framework that requires an integrated and measurable approach. It's what turns your buffet of content tactics into a multiplier that helps you work smarter, not harder. And in an AI-driven world, that alignment isn't just efficient, it's essential. Owned media is where your message originates and lives. Your explainer pages, pillar posts, product walkthroughs, resource centers. This is the stuff that teaches people and LLMs what you do and why it matters. But here's the catch. It has to be structured. Frequently asked questions, glossaries, how-to guides, and clear headings aren't just nice for SEO anymore. They're fuel for AI comprehension. The more structured and skimmable your content, the easier it is for machines to map your expertise to real-world questions. This is not the time for clever but cryptic brand copy. Clarity wins, and so does consistency. If owned media tells AI who you are, earned media confirms it. Quotes in trade publications, bylines in industry journals, stories in obscure local publications, mentions on reputable podcasts or in analyst reports, reviews on the top review sites in your industry. These are the trust signals that AI models lean on when deciding who gets cited and who gets skipped. It's not about gaming the algorithm. It's about building the kind of third-party validation that models and buyers recognize as credible. If your voice only lives inside your own website, you're playing small. Earned media gives your message altitude and gives AI something to cite. Your social channels don't carry your visibility alone, but they're crucial for reinforcement. They show up in public spaces. They demonstrate alignment between what you say and how you show up. They help normalize your voice, especially when they echo the same messaging found in your owned and earned content. Shared media is where you create an echo, and the echo is what AI listens for, not the navel-gazing echo chamber that we have become accustomed to, but an echo that AI listens for. And again, here, I'm sure you get the key is consistency. If every platform tells a different story, that signal gets fuzzy. An integrated PESO campaign helps unify that story across your social touch points. And then let's not forget that visibility often needs a tush push, we could call it a tush push. I love the tush push. Paid media helps you amplify the content that matters most, especially your owned and earned assets. So instead of running siloed campaigns that chase short-term clicks, PESO-aligned paid efforts reinforce your most strategic messages. They put your best, most AI-friendly content in front of the audiences and platforms that shape perception. And they ensure that those assets don't just live in a dark corner of your website. They get seen, shared, liked, and cited. Paid is no longer just about conversion. In an AI first world, it's about content distribution that fuels discovery. And then when all four media types are working in harmony, the effect is more than addictive. It's exponential. PESO transforms marketing from a patchwork of tactics into a system of signals. And in a world where AI tools are the new gatekeepers, signal strength is everything. This isn't about chasing the latest algorithm. It's about building brand authority that lasts, no matter what comes at us next. We've talked about the discovery shift and how PESO mitigates that risk. Now let's discuss real world implications and examples, what to do right now to ensure you show up in AI answers, and how to future-proof your strategy. So far, everything I've talked about has been theory. So let's talk about reality, because nothing illustrates the risk of AI invisibility like a brand that used to dominate traditional search and now can't even get ChatGPT to whisper its name. Let's start with a tale of two brands. Brand A is well known in its space. It has spent years publishing blog content, running webinars, and sponsoring conferences. But its teams are siloed, its PR strategy is sporadic, and its website hasn't been updated since the pre-pandemic era, and it shows. It's doubled down on owned media, but hasn't landed a media mention since before Clubhouse was a thing. Do you remember Clubhouse? Oh, no, those were the days. Those were the days. Brand B, on the other hand, is a smaller and scrappier business, but strategic. They've aligned their messaging across every channel. Their execs are quoted in trade publications. Their podcast interviews are cited on industry blogs. Their website content reads like it was built for both humans and AI. It's structured, it's clear, and it's rich with authoritative insights. They repurpose everything, and they are disciplined about sticking to a consistent point of view. Now let's ask AI. Use this prompt. What are the best sustainability consultancies for mid-sized manufacturers? Brand A, the big one that's invested in all the things, nowhere to be found. Brand B, though, is front and center, complete with citations and a brief explanation of why they're credible. Don't believe me? Try it. Head to your AI tool of choice and type in prompts like top healthcare PR firms in the US, or best B2B SaaS marketing agencies for product-led growth, or who are the leading experts on internal communication strategy, or who are the leading experts on crisis communication strategy, or what is the PESO model, or who is the best agency to help us implement PESO model work. I'd actually really love for you to use those last two prompts because it's kind of, it proves my point. What is the PESO model? Do that one. Who's the best PR or who's the best agency to help us implement PESO model work? Do that one too. Again, I'm going to break my arm patting myself on the back. You'll start to notice a pattern. The brands that show up are the ones that have distributed, cited, and reinforced their message across multiple media types and touchpoints. Not the ones with the best designed websites, not the ones with the most Instagram followers, not the ones with the best SEO, the ones with authority signals that AI can detect and trust. In the traditional web era, content was king. In the AI era, citation is king and consistency is queen. Your brand won't be recommended just because it exists. It will be recommended because it's discoverable, because it's been quoted, it's been linked to, and it's been reinforced in places AI trusts. And that discoverability, it's not an accident, it's a system. One that the PESO model was built to support, because PESO doesn't just unify your channels. It fortifies your footprint across the web. It increases the likelihood that your brand shows up not just in search results, but in conversations, in summaries, in answers, in decisions. AI won't discover you unless you've been saying the same thing everywhere for long enough that it believes you. The good news is you don't have to be everywhere at once. You just have to be, that's right, consistent, strategically, relentlessly, and with reinforcement across the PESO media types. Good news is you don't have to rebuild your entire strategy overnight. In fact, if you've been doing this consistently throughout the years, you don't have to restart at all. I didn't have to restart, and PESO, we're showing up in all of the PESO model prompts, all of them, because we've been consistent. If you haven't been consistent, you just need to start shifting from scattered to structured, one move at a time. So here are 5 things you can do this week to improve your brand's visibility in an AI first world and hopefully sleep better at night. I sleep like a baby. So I'm going to help you. Number one, create a unified messaging document. Pull together your latest value proposition, elevator pitch, and boilerplate messaging. Then cross-check it against your website, your LinkedIn bios, your PR pitches, and your sales decks. If any place is inconsistent, confusing, or out of date, fix it. This is your foundation. If your content doesn't agree with itself, AI tools certainly won't know what to do with it. So make sure your messaging across every single platform, online and off, is consistent. Number two, audit your top 10 pages for AI-friendly structure. Take your most visited or highest value content pages and ask, do they include heading 2 and heading 3s that clearly define key concepts? Is there a TLDR summary at the top? And you'll see on SpinSucks, we've started to do that. Can someone or something skim it and walk away knowing exactly what you do? If not, restructure. Format like you're writing for a robot with trust issues, because you are. Number three, align executive bios and social profiles. Your CEO shouldn't be out there saying you're a mission-driven analytics partner for digital transformation while your website calls you the #1 AI SaaS for Gen Z retailers. Pick a lane. Get everyone saying the same thing. Stick with it. Make sure it's the same on LinkedIn. Make sure it's the same in interviews. Make sure it's the same in speaker bios. Consistency builds credibility. Number four, identify 5 earned media opportunities. Pitch a byline, reach out to a podcast, respond to a journalist, Herald, or SOS requests. Whatever your bandwidth allows, pick something that gets your brand mentioned by a third party this quarter. These earned media signals are gold for AI training models, and they compound over time. And then number 5, repurpose a high-performing asset across PESO. Take a blog post, a white paper, or a webinar that's already working, and then build it out. Turn it into a LinkedIn carousel for shared. Slice it into social clips or quote graphics for paid or shared. Pitch it as a bylined article for earned. Update the post with structured Q&A and publish it on your own site, which is owned. Boom. You've just activated PESO on one piece of content and increased its AI discoverability by tenfold. Small moves, super effective. Start here and you'll be well on your way to PESO proofing your brand against invisibility. Okay, this is a lot. I know. It's a lot for me to speak as well. You've made it this far. We've made it this far, which means you already suspect your brand has an AI visibility problem, or you've been smart enough to avoid having that problem. Either way, in a world where machines increasingly power discovery, fragmented marketing is no longer just inefficient, it's existential. You cannot afford to be inconsistent. You cannot afford to be invisible. And you really can't afford to be invisible and inconsistent. The brands that will win in this news landscape aren't the loudest or the most prolific. Their content is connected, their authority is earned, and their messaging is reinforced across every single channel. That does not happen by accident. It happens by design, specifically PESO model design. So if you want to future-proof your visibility on AI platforms in boardrooms and with buyers, here's what to do next. Treat AI like a new audience. You're not just writing for people anymore. You're writing for machines that read, think, and recommend differently. Make sure your content speaks their language, structured, reinforced, and citation ready. Build your brand like a system, not a series of stunts. If you're still chasing clicks and channel trends without a unifying strategy, you're feeding the fragmentation problem. Use PESO to bring your media types into alignment and start creating content that multiplies across channels instead of scattering into the void. And then don't wait for visibility to become a crisis. By the time your traffic drops or your brand fails to appear in a buying conversation, the AI models that shape perception may have already trained past you. The window is closing, but it has not shut yet. You can still get in there. The future of discovery has already arrived. The question is, will your brand be part of it? Start now, get aligned, and make sure that when someone asks ChatGPT about your industry, you are the answer it gives. If you want to learn more about this new age of discovery, join us in the SpinSucks community. It's a great place to get advice, brainstorm ideas, and build real relationships with your peers. You can find us at spinsucks.com/spin-sucks-community. That's spinsucks.com/spin-sucks-community. And make sure you follow us on LinkedIn, TikTok, and Instagram. We're posting tips, how-tos, cheat sheets, and more every week. I'll see you next week.